I used to have an analog horror series. It was not good at all. So I got bored and decided to react to it and see why it was so bad. Probably because I made it. It's called the modus mutagen fly. Modus and mutagen are just a bunch of Latin words I slapped together. I don't even remember what they mean. It had 8 videos. A lot of the episodes had a lot of views. 200, 149, 212. We're gonna start with this episode, A Parasite 1994. This is a remaster of the first episode, so it's a lot newer than the other ones. It was uploaded on January 28th, 2024.
The modus mutagen fly is a member of the insect family. It is similar to a standard housefly, though it differs greatly from the latter, mainly in its behavior. The modus mutagen fly will refrain from traveling far away from its habitat at all costs. The modus mutagen fly's habitat may vary depending on the surrounding area it finds itself in. They can either be found within large bushes, or within the branches of trees. Sometimes, they may choose to stay in house plants, if they see the living conditions as appropriate for them. The modus mutagen fly is not seen to be naturally hostile, however, they are very easily threatened and will not hesitate to attack any organism that they consider a threat. When the fly is threatened, it will travel towards the threat and land on their neck or one of their shoulders.
Okay, so before they actually explain why it's such a threat, I want to go over like the history of the series and this episode. So this is episode 1. This is the series premium, if you will. It was originally a different video, but I hated it so much, so I redid it. It's supposed to match like those crappy nature documentaries that you'd watch like in class or something.
If a threat does not have a neck or shoulders, the fly will simply flee and find another habitat. Regardless, once the fly lands on the neck or shoulder of an organism, it will inject them with a pathogen known as M68. The injection process lasts 25 seconds. The organism will not feel any pain or discomfort during the injection process. However, after 3 to 5 minutes, the infected organism will begin to exhibit symptoms of M68. M68 is a novel virus that hijacks the brain and drives any infected into a suicidal or homicidal state.
And let me go back to the name. So this virus, it's a disease that's carried by the fly. I don't know if you guys watch EAS scenarios, but M68 is very much inspired by this fictional virus called K17PXVI from The Awakening. Again, I don't know if you guys have seen that. The point is, it's very similar to that and very inspired by it. Fun fact, this name, Modus Mutant Virus, I just thought it was really stupid, so I changed it to M68. During Volume 1, I remember I changed it on the spot.
Early symptoms of M68 include dizziness, memory loss, chest pains, etc. The virus takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks to kill an infected. They will display physical symptoms such as seizures and cardiac arrest. A cure or vaccine for M68 has not been discovered, and there is currently no known way to recover from infection.
That was a big one. That was a really big problem back then, I remember.
If a modus mutagen fly successfully infects you, it is advised that you lock yourself in a sturdy shelter, to prevent yourself from posing a threat to others around you.
You will not be yourself anymore. The virus will slowly transform you into a demonic, inhumane creature, before gruesomely and painfully killing you.
Yeah, so this was, you're gonna see this a lot. I did a really bad job of trying to be scared. There were times I realized that the series wasn't actually scary at all, so I tried way too hard. There's some episodes where I didn't try at all, so it was just a mess, really.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Texas Division of Emergency Management in conjunction with the Fort Lauderdale County Police Department. A new mutation of the novel M68 virus was discovered recently, and cases have been rapidly increasing. As a result, violence across the area has seen a deadly spike. Anyone infected with M68 will feel the almost uncontrollable compulsion to kill themselves or others around them. A curfew is in effect which will last for 1 week in an attempt to mitigate the chaos. Citizens are to be inside of their homes by 7 p.m. and may not leave their homes until 6 a.m. unless given special authorization by an official. If you are caught outside of your home within the curfew hours, you will be detained and potentially charged.
Yeah, so like I said, hold on, what is this? Oh, there's more? What the heck? I'm going to read this out loud. Brevard County Virology Lab. Report by Dr. Jack West. He's going to be important later. We've been looking a bit more into this M68 pathogen, and we've found out something that may be bad news for the people. We've discovered a new and deadlier strain of the modus mutant virus. This is potentially linked to the increase in violence in Texas, but we cannot confirm that at this time. We'll conduct more research as to what may be done to prevent the virus from killing and infecting, but we have not had much success as of recently. Nonetheless, we will be sure to provide any updates as soon as possible. August 14th, 1994. Is there just no music? Alright, well, episode 1, created by HelloItsMeCray. So that was episode 1. I will say the remaster was probably one of the better episodes. Still wasn't great though. Episode 2, Modus Mutant Virus Epidemic Official Survival Guide from the CDC. I remember making this in like 20 minutes. This is one of my least favorite episodes actually, apart from volume 1. This background, I literally just searched up liminal spaces and I saw this.
As you know, the modus mutant virus has become a very dangerous outbreak as of a few years ago.
Why did I use this voice?
As always with natural issues such as these, it is important to not panic and know how to keep yourself safe. This instructional video will show you just that. So without further ado, let's get into it.
What the fuck? It's not even, it didn't even fit on the screen. M68 Survival Guide. Everyone get hype for this lazy ass video.
Let's start simple. The modus mutant virus is a pathogen that is spread via the modus mutans parasitus, also known as the modus mutagen fly.
Fun fact, when the series was still in development, I always got the name confused. So the animal is called modus mutagen fly, and the virus is called modus mutant virus. I'd always get it confused and say modus mutant fly and modus mutagen virus.
When the fly finds the victim, it homes itself on the neck or shoulder of the victim and injects them with the aforementioned virus. Once the virus enters the body, within 3 to 5 minutes the victim is forced into a rage-like or saddened state. This is due to the effect of dopamine, a chemical that orchestrates the emotions that a person feels. Because of the virus's effect on the brain, the victim will eventually feel the urge to harm either themselves or others around them. These psychological effects are known to be reversible, though a good way to overcome these effects is to participate in healthy mental exercises.
What does that even mean?
The virus is also shown to have some very rare physiological effects on the body.
I don't think any of these are canon.
Virus have been reported to experience fevers, seizures, and increased vomiting.
Yeah, I think I retconned these, probably.
It is unknown where exactly the virus originated from, but there exist theories of the virus originating somewhere in South America. The man who discovered the modus mutagen fly's existence was a Chilean biologist by the name of Stuart Cran. Cran's discovery of the fly nor the virus would be publicized until 23 years after his death.
Wow, such a good video. Oh god, glitching.
The outside is no longer safe. The virus will turn you into a sick, twisted version of your former self.
Whispering in a dark screen. I was really good at these analog horror cliches.
I'm sorry, Tom. It was not Andrew's fault. I miss you. Everyone misses you.
So this was a teaser for that whole speech was a teaser for volume 1, Tom and Andrew. A lot to talk about, ignoring how lazy it was for a second. This dude, Stuart Cran, like they said in the video, he discovered this fly and this virus. He is a very important character. This whole video was made to because I knew the first episode wasn't very good. I made this video to clear up any confusion and again to tease future episodes. Episode 2, created by yours truly. We then move on to episode 3, also known as volume 1. It was the first ever episode to have voice acting and it's the longest episode, 18 minutes. Prepare yourselves for absolute cringe.
For a double C punch, so they're more nutritious than.
This message is being transmitted at the request of civil authorities due to a sudden spike in the population of a very dangerous organism, known as the modus mutagen fly.
This next section of the video is where you'll hear the first ever voice acting for the series.
Hey everyone, Tom here. Just getting a little update on episode 21, the Modus Mutagen Fly. We have gone and delayed it from its original release date. We know this sucks, but we assure you that we will get the episode out as soon as possible. Alright, this has been Tom Stinkley, signing off for now, and have a good one.
So that was Tom Stinkley. Basically, this show was a goofy children's nature series that aired on TV. Think of the Wild Kratts, except it wasn't a cartoon. Basically, two brothers, Tom and Andrew, they go into the wild and make a bunch of funny episodes about animals that you'd show in school maybe. They weren't that important. I think they were mentioned in one other episode and in a future episode that never got made, but that's it. So in volume 1, I introduced a lot of the characters that would be really important, and this is one of them. In fact, this is probably the single most important, apart from the fly and the virus, the single most important part of this entire series.
This file is to remain confidential at all times and will not be shared with the public under any circumstance. By viewing this tape, you understand that failure to comply with these terms will result in execution. Welcome to the Anonymous Parasite Reproduction Association, an organization that dedicates hours and hours a day to complete one simple task: increase the population of the powerful Modus Mutagen fly by any means possible. Before you can officially start working at the HERA, you must be presented with a set of rules and conditions. These conditions will be abided by at all times. Disobedience of these conditions will result in major consequences, such as execution. Rule 1. You must not notify anyone that you work here. If they ask, tell them that you work at a separate facility such as a restaurant or grocery store. If anyone, no matter the relation, finds out that you work here, you must kill them immediately. Rule 2. In your first day in the job, you will be provided with the passcode to enter the building. You will not share the passcode with anyone. If you forget the passcode, you may possibly be fired, as a safety measure. Rule 3. Upon entering work every day, you will be given a gas mask as well as a hazmat suit. These are to be worn at all times while you are on the job. These are not only to protect your identity, but to also prevent chemicals such as the Modus Mutant virus from entering your body. We take very high security measures here at the HERA. We will thwart any and all attempts to destroy the organization from the inside. Any moles or snitches will be executed without mercy, so think about your decisions. Now that you have gone over our expectations, you may begin your journey at the association.
This is an illegally produced tape. Please subscribe to the tape immediately. I don't know if all of that remained a canon. Pretty much, the APRA, the fly's population has increased dramatically. And it's thanks to this dude. I say this dude, this group of people. They're pretty much why the fly and the disease is spreading. They're reproducing them. They don't know any of the people who work in it except for one. I think they were trying to shut it down, but they're too good at hiding. I remember their headquarters was like the most non-conspicuous building ever, so they never found them. Oh, I didn't say this. I never said this. Tom Stinkley is voiced by my friend Bengu. I think this was his first time ever voice acting for something. Shout out to him. There's 2 other voice actors in this video. I will make sure to shout out every single one of them for agreeing with me to work on this absolute mistake.
Thank you for attending this emergency conference. We at the Guevara County Virology Lab have conducted research on the Modus mutant virus, also given the alias M68 by the Centers for Disease Control, and have some groundbreaking information to share with you all. After the virus is injected into the victim's neck or shoulder by the Modus mutagen fly, it travels to the brain, and takes control of the dopamine and other chemicals within the brain. This already can cause negative effects on a person's emotions. They will either become extremely hostile or severely depressed. We've also concluded that the virus actually has 3 stages before it can actually kill a victim. During stage 1,
I
the
think
victim
this is
will
still
only
canon.
feel mildly homicidal or suicidal. It is possible to eliminate the virus during stage 1 through certain medication that has not yet been discovered. During stage 2, which will start roughly 2 to 6 days after infection, the victim's feelings of rage or sadness increase, and they will be hostile towards almost any living thing they come across. The virus cannot be eliminated beyond this stage, though adequate treatment can prevent death and further damage from the virus. After another 2.5 to 3 weeks, if the victim has not yet been executed or committed suicide, the virus will enter stage 3. The death rate among patients during stage 3 is approximately 94%. It is the stage where seizures and/or heart attacks can happen. The virus' ability to almost corrupt a host's brain makes it a grave threat for the American people, and we must work together to stop the virus from becoming an epidemic or even a global pandemic.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this. I don't think this is really important. I do remember this. This was like a social media platform. I think it was called Social85, stylized in all caps. I tried making it like Twitter. First of all, I don't even know if the internet existed back in the 80s, but I remember this being like Twitter for back then. It was very popular back then. Andrew here. Most of you saw Tom's message from a few days ago, but we have been forced to delay the 21st episode of the series. We've started filming on the project, and it's actually going pretty well. Tom and I thank you for the support. Right now, they are filming 21st episode of their series on the Modus Fly. I will tell you right now, neither of them are holding the camera right now. This is someone else, whose name will be told later. July 18th, 2:33 p.m., low battery.
Definitely prefer to stay in this habitat as much as possible. Honestly, unless it feels threatened, you won't really see this guy out and about as much. Well, let me tell you, when this thing does leave its home, it's definitely scouting out a potential victim. Alright, I think that's good enough. We're definitely gonna have the episode done and released earlier than we thought. Hey, quick question. Do you know where the fly is? What the? Oh, it's on your shoulder. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so the fly just landed on him. He just got infected. I didn't make it clear that he got infected here. So he's gonna do something crazy. If this was nowadays, there'd be a lot of YouTube videos saying the biology with the Sinclair brothers situation is crazy.
The Modus fly tends to home itself in larger bushes. Drew, the fucking camera died. What do you mean it died? I mean, I don't know. I got like 15 seconds of footage. I fucking told you to charge before you left. Why are you so damn incompetent in everything you do? Okay, I lost the charger and that would be fine. Besides, isn't it your responsibility? Why the hell am I at fault? I didn't plan this episode. Oh, so this is my fault!
This is supposed to be the camera dying. I didn't make that very clear.
Why are you reaching in the bag? Is that a knife?
Tom Stinkley, 25, 1972 to 1997. I'm gonna skip the rest of this. So Tom just died, and Andrew kills him. Because of the virus, he gets really mad because like his brain's all messed up now, so he gets really mad really easily because the camera died. So he gets out a knife and kills him. Remember, neither of them are holding the camera. This is a third person. This fence, Tom and Andrew are actually behind it, and this is just a bystander. Andrew is also voiced by Bengu. I could not get another person. I remember Bengu offered to voice Tom and Andrew. I was originally like, that's stupid. Why are two characters voiced by the same person? But he insisted, and that's how we got to here. Murder Report. This was inspired by the Smile Tapes. July 18th, 1997. Time 4:50 p.m. That's when the police showed up. Charles Square National Park. Deaths 1. Thomas Stinkley. And Stinkley was spotted lying on the ground unresponsive with 3 wounds in his body. Police suspect Andrew Stinkley as the perpetrator, though further investigation is required. Encrypted security camera audio from the BWTSB studio. I thought I heard my door. Located in Fort Terrell County. I also forgot to say this is where the entire series takes place. Here you will meet our
second
voice actor. Includes the voices of Andrew M. Stinkley and Washington J. Average.
Dude, why the heck are you covered in blood? Where's Tom?
Oh, Tom? Yeah, a bear got loose and Tom got mauled to death.
Holy, are you okay?
Me? Yeah, I'm fine. We're not gonna tell the people at home about this, right?
Why? Tom's dead. They have to find out eventually.
Look, just tell them that Tom retired from the show. If we say that he's dead, everyone's gonna think that the show's a joke and it'll lose popularity. We tell them he's retired, they'll have to understand us.
Alright, whatever. I'll be in my office.
Washington is voiced by Jay Tastic. He was amazing to work with. That was the first time I ever paid for a voice actor. So yes, this was also just me not knowing how humans talk apparently. But Andrew obviously doesn't tell Washington that he killed Tom. So he makes up an excuse and said that Tom was killed by a bear. Washington believes it. He's the manager. I don't know if that's ever said, but he's the manager of the series. He like does all the research and like writes most of the scripts. Then Andrew says to not tell anyone that Tom is dead. I don't know why Washington is so calm about the fact that Tom is dead, but whatever. Andrew's thing is, well, if we say he's dead, no one's gonna care about the show. Not how that works, but okay. He convinces Washington to tell everyone that Tom just quit. I don't think that would work in real life. I don't know where I got this from, but I had to move the story along. Here you will meet our actual third voice actor. It's me again. While editing this video, I learned that this particular VA is a horrible person. Nothing has been confirmed yet. I can't afford to just remove the parts that she's in. I'll show their voice work, but I just won't say their name. Sorry.
Morning, and thank you for tuning in. It's a JT Amazing Radio. July 18th, social media star Thomas Sinkley unfortunately passed away at the age of just 25 years. Police received reports of screaming coming from the north end of Charles Square National Park. It wasn't until 4:50 p.m. that same day that the body was finally found by a local civilian. The park is currently closed down as police are investigating the event. Andrew Stinkley nor anyone else who works for biology with the Stinkley brothers have yet said anything about Tom's death. However, a statement was posted around 3:50 on the show's Social 85 account saying that Tom had recently retired. We will provide more information to the public as soon as we get any. But this is a very unfortunate day for many fans of biology with the Stinkley brothers, including a lot of us at the studio, and our prayers are with Tom's friends and family.
Yeah, the 19th. The next day, Tom is found dead. They announce it. Washington has already announced that he retired. Okay, I'm gonna skip the rest of the video because it's just a massive circle jerk of extra stuff to make you be scared. These are the credits. Thank you, Jay. And this is posted on December 23rd, 2023. And I forgot to say this, but episode 2 was posted on November 18th. Poenite. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think that's Latin. That's a different language for he will regret, I think. What is this? Yeah, this was another attempt at me trying to be scary. You will go to hell, Andrew. Yep, just me reinforcing what happened because I can't tell stories. Fun fact, this image, this is my dad's pocket knife. I remember he was very confused when I asked to have his pocket knife. This thing, the Fort Terrell County Police Department. I would give my whole spiel about how this is so important, but you guys get it by now. I will say I was actually pretty good with like deciding which characters and which like groups of people to focus on more. We're introduced to another voice actor, by the way. July 20th, 1997, the FTC PD received a phone call from a 15-year-old girl named Grace Williams. Williams claimed that she was in possession of camera footage of the incident on July 18th. Grace is also voiced by... With permission from her parents, Williams was transported to the station by Lieutenant Camilla McGaffley. Once they arrived at the station, McGaffley would ask Williams various questions pertaining to the footage and the incident. I think I can skip the rest of this part. You guys get what happened. 6/20/97. That is a typo.
Alright, well, nice to meet you, Williams. So, you claim to actually have recorded footage of the incident. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
May I see it, please?
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Alright, thank you, Williams.
I should have changed the time, because this implies that she watched it in less than a minute, which is not true.
So I was sitting on my bench listening to music when I heard two people talking. It sounded like they were filming some sort of nature document.
Talking about Tom and Andrew.
Once Tom started getting stabbed, I noticed that it looked as if you were running from the area.
When Andrew started yelling, I immediately knew that something was about to happen. I was still kind of intrigued, so I kept filming. And then he started stabbing. Nothing else.
Everything okay over there?
Can I skip the rest of this part? Yeah, I think I can skip this part. Grace was gonna be the main character for like pretty much the rest of the series. I think this is the same day. I don't remember what time it is, but Andrew and Washington have a phone call. I do like this layout because I tried not to make it too much like the Mandela I'm just gonna say the name at this point. Too much like the Mandela catalog. At the same time, phone calls and analog horror kind of look the exact same. Also, fun fact, every episode up to here was made on my phone. I think this was the last episode that was made on my phone. Every episode from this point on was made on my laptop, but this was made on my phone.
Hello? Hey, Drew, it's Washington. Are you sure that Tom was killed by a bear?
Yeah, he was like torn limb from limb. It was actually terrifying.
Well, here's the thing. Are you aware of the fact that people genuinely think that you killed Tom?
Dude, you know how the internet is, always making up shit for attention.
Yeah, but like, there's solid evidence. They found your pocket knife on the ground next to Tom's dead body. You dropped your bag next to him as well as all of...
Dude, I don't fucking know, okay? Actually, why the hell haven't you done anything about it? You're the manager. Tell them to stop making these stupid fucking accusations.
I wasn't even there. How could I possibly vouch for you if I don't even know what happened?
Damn it, Washington. You're fired. How about that? Since you're too much of a pussy to do anything around here, why don't you go find some other job that will hire absolute dumbass?
I was really good at writing people being mad. I can't write things, but I really know how people talk when they're angry.
Accused of murder.
And he hangs up. I don't have much to say about that sequence. I can glaze Jay a bit though. He really made up for my bad writing. He showed so much emotion for Washington. It was uploaded on December 30th, 2023. 7 days after Volume 1. This was a direct continuation, so fair enough. The Aviation Migration of 1969. This is another one of the few episodes that I actually liked. Also, I made the music.
On September 6, 1969, an explosion of an unknown cause occurred in Bolivia, close to the south reactor of the St. Rogaso power plant in the town of Estanciolica. No one was killed in the explosion, though 23 people were injured from either debris or the shockwave. The south reactor was severely damaged, and as a result, radioactive materials were released into the environment. The radioactive materials spread to many parts of southwestern Bolivia and parts of northeastern Chile. Thankfully, because of their government's quick response to ensure public safety, there were very little reported deaths among humans. However, the environment was severely damaged by these radioactive materials, and many animals, mainly flying animals living in trees and plants, lost their homes. This led to thousands of flying organisms such as hummingbirds, beetles, and Motus mutagen flies traveling north in large quantities. Most of the animals made it to smaller countries in Central America such as Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, Venezuela, etc. However, some of them flew north for thousands of kilometers and landed in parts of Mexico, and even some parts of southern United States. They eventually accepted these places as a new home for them and began breeding, thus increasing the population of these organisms in these new areas. Most hummingbirds can be found within Guatemala and southern Mexico, while beetles and Motus mutagen flies can be found in central and northern...
All of this is stock footage, by the way. Yeah, so that's the Aviation Migration of 1969. Another Chernobyl happened, and a bunch of flying animals moved to the US. Like I said before, this one, I actually kind of like this one just because it's so simple. So after a hiatus from the series, I released Zero. Of all the episodes, this is the second most important one. Fun fact, Zero was supposed to come out way earlier than it did. It was episode 6. I think it was supposed to be like episode 2, but one of the no offense to anyone, one of the voice actors took a while, so it didn't come out until later. If I'm not mistaken, this is like 1945. It's a really old radio talk show. Stuart Cran, we talked about him earlier, his nephew is interviewed, and he publicizes something that belongs to Stuart, and that's this whole video. October 29, 1945, the last evidence of Stuart Crane's existence, featuring Jamie Crane.
Our guest with us for this next segment is a nephew of former biologist Stuart Crane. It was one of Stuart's audio tapes that were recovered 5 whole years after his death, dated all the way back in 1887. Please welcome Jamie Crane.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Bell.
And good afternoon to you, Jamie. Why don't you start by telling us how you found this tape in the first place?
I believe it was the year 1927, about 5 years after Stuart passed. I believe I was 14 at the time, and his daughter needed help moving furniture, so they asked us to, come over and help. I got distracted and went into a kind of closet-like room. I found an audio tape that had the text on it writing, Modus Mutans Paraticis, 1887, age 19.
Okay, we can skip all this. This is just small talk. I don't think I ever clarified how they got a hold of this audio. I'm definitely not gonna show all of it because it's very long. But I'm gonna show off Haz's voice acting, and then I'll just read the rest of it myself because it's, once again, it's pretty long.
The year is 1887. I spent all night looking at a new organism I found. Lives in bushes and trees. It survives best in summer-like temperatures. It doesn't usually leave its habitat unless it goes looking for another organism.
So the rest of it is just him talking about what the fly does and how dangerous it is. I don't know why he doesn't publicize it. I think his reason is because he didn't want to scare people, which is kind of dumb. Shout out Haz. He was a great friend of mine. A riot happened in Chile. I don't know what that says. I need someone to translate that. Written and directed by HelloItsMeCray. 6 months before it actually released. Interlude. I had taken a long break from the series and I didn't want it to fall out of relevancy, so I made Interlude. This is definitely inspired by the Mandela Catalog episode of the same name. This is me trying to create Windows XP messaging softwares. July 22nd, 1997. This is another appearance of Washington. This is a conversation between Washington and someone named Chant Smith, who is also going to be really important. Have you heard from Andrew in a while? No, I thought you and him broke things off ever since he fired you somehow. We did, but his mom called me the other day and said that he's been drinking like hell lately. She said that some days he'd come home drunk out of his mind, saying things like, I didn't even like Tom anyway. I know we're supposed to be done, but I'm still extremely concerned for him. He had such a passion for the show, and now it doesn't mean anything to him. A wanted poster for someone named Woodrow Rockefeller. He is going to be really important. I think he was the last characters ever introduced. We'll just read all this now since he's going to appear in another video anyway. Woodrow DeGrid Rockefeller, October 7th, 1969. Accomplice of an illegitimate business, murder, and assault. Do you remember the APRA we talked about? He works for that. Total confirmed M68 cases by 1,000. Texas has 7 and all of Mexico has 5. I was not good at coming up with numbers. Oh, I thought there was gonna be Texas speech. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of this, but pretty much. A blockade is surrounding all of Texas because the M68 epidemic is just too big. Basically what that means is no one's allowed to leave or enter Texas for any reason. If you try to, they're gonna kill you. Interlude by HelloItsMeCray. This was a new layout for the credits. Storytelling and visuals by HelloItsMeCray. Storytelling. Wait, inspiration's Jack Walton. The Walton Files is a pretty popular horror series. And back then, I'd always get Martin Walls, the creator, and Jack Walton, one of the characters, confused with each other. This was also when I started watching the Walton Files, so that's why I even put him in here. The final episode of the Modus Mutagen Fly, August 5th, 2024, Fort Terrell County Police Department, case 795. This is the second most viewed video. It has more voice actors than any episode. This episode, I will say, was actually more high quality than the other ones, probably because it's the most recent. It is with the deepest regret for us to announce that on May 30th, a man who has not yet been identified broke into the Guevara County Virology Lab and shot and killed 4 of our employees. Jack West, he appeared in the first episode. He's the one who said that this virus is going to be a problem. He's dead now. Alice Colton, Michael Zarate, and Daniel Danny Worthsfield. That's Alice's dead body. Shout out to anyone who can decode that. Woodrow D. Rockefeller from last episode. Before I actually show the murder trial, I'm gonna show something real quick. I made this in Blender. This is the exterior for the GCVL. On May 30th, 4 people were killed. I'm skipping this. This was literally just explained. I will say, casting for this episode was very painful because a lot of the people who I tried to get to voice the characters either didn't respond or said no.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you provide shall tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Would you please state your full name with the spelling of your last name for the record? Woodrow DeGrid Rockefeller.
I forgot that you're supposed to refer to judges as Your Honor.
You have been accused of opening fire in a public facility and killing 4 people. A witness claimed that she saw you walk into the Guevara County Virology Lab and immediately heard 6 loud gunshots. She then saw you swiftly walking out of the lab while looking extremely nervous. Do you admit to this claim?
Yes. I did walk into the virology lab.
That's what? That's a typo.
A bunch of stuff over. I actually used to work there, so that's why they let me in. But after I started making a mess on accident, they yelled at me and demanded me to leave.
18 minutes later, an employee of the lab says that upon walking into the building, they were greeted with 4 dead bodies of people who also worked there.
I think my this gun, I made this in Blender too. I think my writing got slightly better. I actually did research on how court cases worked, and I think at this time I was in a civics class.
Really don't know what happened with the dead bodies. After I left, I went to the movies with my friend to watch My Bloody Valentine. And then I went straight to bed right afterward.
That is an actual movie, I googled it. June 11th, Lieutenant McGathley from earlier calls in 3 witnesses of the shooting. We don't see their faces.
I was going to enter the building through the side door and I could see through the window Alice's dead body just leaning against the wall. Blood was fucking everywhere. And on top of it, there were Jack, Danny, and Michael's bloody remains just lying on the floor. I couldn't stomach being in that room any longer, so I just left and went home.
I'm not gonna talk through this much.
I was just sitting in my car, right, and I looked out, and I saw this dude. After he disappeared to the building, I heard 6 loud shots, and the same guy ran out of the building for one of the other doors. I don't know where he went.
All of that was improvised. I gave them the script and they improvised the whole thing. It was awesome.
I was going on a jog when I heard a bunch of loud noises. I turned around and saw a white man wearing a white shirt and black pants running from outside of the building behind me. He ran into the forest that was on the other side and I just lost him.
Oh, in the background, I don't know if you can see it, that's the outside of the building. Yeah, see, I put more effort into this than ever. This is also the first time I've used Blender to animate something. Hey, I learned his name, Martin Walls. And with that series comes to an end. There were gonna be more. I think there were gonna be about like 2 or 3 more episodes. There would have been a volume 2, I remember that. And I think that's where the series would have ended. I guess I'll explain what happened since I'm not gonna expand upon it. Well, that was my first attempt at creating an analog horror series. It wasn't a very good attempt. There was a bunch of stuff that I'm proud of. I do want to start another analog horror series. I'll try to do a better job of being scary without trying too hard and making it just dumb.